I'm Reginald and I'm 97. I was born in the East End of London, and my family used to go to a church called you see, my brain is not very well. I can't think of the name of it now. Well, it was a pub. It was converted by Dr. Bernardo into a huge church, and with a very beautiful organ, very fine organ. My father was the organist. And if they didn't take me up to the organ when I was a little boy, I would scream my head off till they did. And it was a very exciting thing to see him playing things like Rachmaninoff's C-sharp minor prelude, which, if you know it, goes G-sharp, F-sharp, bottom C-sharp, and the whole thing used to shake like mad. And that was one of my favourite memories every Sunday. I had two sisters who were younger than me. My father was chief cashier for Cubits, the big London building firm. My mother was one of 14 children. Well, I enjoyed it up to the first year in primary school. And then instead of being passed from 1A to 2A, I was passed to 3B. God only knows why. I had a Welsh thug as a teacher, and he took me back to my 1A class to say to the teacher there, I don't know why you sent him up to me, but it wasn't up, it was down. And it was the year I should have taken the exam for the secondary school. And I didn't know when it was or where it was. I never took it, and my parents never said a word about it. But my sister was in that class, and of course I was weeping, and whether she ever told my family about it, I don't know. But in fact it ruined my education. But however, I taught 3 subjects in a grammar school, so I couldn't be that. Well, I think most favourite, when I took on a new school at Petworth in Sussex, I think it's Sussex, or is it? The head gave me my timetable, and on it he put 2 periods of religious knowledge. And I told him I wasn't going to do that, and it left him in a spot because it's the only subject he has to teach by law. So he said, is there anything you could do? So I said, well, I could teach philosophy and ethics. He said, what, to 2C? I said, yes, I'll teach philosophy and ethics to 2C. And it's one of the most wonderful things I've ever done, because I didn't teach them anything. There was a person on the radio who had a regular talk called Children Talking. And he would take a microphone into a children's playground, ask them all sorts of questions. And these were all things that they learned from other people. So I asked the children questions on a set subject for the first lesson each week. And the second lesson I played it back to them. No one was allowed to speak when someone else was speaking. And I think I realised the true nature of education which means to educe, to bring out. And they can do it. They can do it extremely well. And this was the bottom stream of the second year. Anyway, he asked me to do a paper on it, which I did. And I came across this paper a great many years afterwards. And I thought, well, this must be made into a book for the whole school. Well, I've done 42 pages, but that's as far as I got. My philosophy and ethics in schools, I'm told, was put into the internet by one of the persons at Brockwood Park Centre. Do you know Brockwood Park? It's a Christian Mercy Centre. It was put on the internet, but whatever happened to it. Well, we were getting out of Singapore, where we worked in the area, and the Japanese sank all the ships in the harbour that we were making for. And so we had to encamp in a Dutch Air Force station, and the Japanese picked us up when they had time to do so. Well, we were all short of food. I mean, we never had any meat or fish or eggs. It was mostly white rice. White rice is not a very good food. Brown rice was quite good, but if we'd had brown rice, the rats and the mice would have got at it before we did. That was the main thing. We were short of food. I don't think really it was that bad. A lot have been written about it, but it doesn't interest me very much. Well, when the war ended, the Allies didn't have enough transport to pick us up right away, so they instructed the Japanese to guard us from the outside people, the local people, and to look after us until they came. Most of the prisoners got away by air, were flown to Singapore, but those who were sick couldn't do that. So they wanted they put me on a landing craft to take them to Singapore, because the waters between Java and Singapore are usually quite smooth and flat. They could take up to 100 people. So I was put on one of those as a doctor. And we sailed to Singapore, and then I had the misfortune of coming back by sea with the civilians from Singapore, whom I rather disliked, because they only went to Singapore to make money. But going out to the Far East took 9 weeks in one of the fastest ships afloat. We were in convoy most of the time. We went up to North America, and then back to Africa, and we dropped off the convoy, most of the convoy at the Red Sea, and then there were just ourselves in the Athlone Castle, and that was the name of the boat, and HMS Exeter, 2 very fast boats, and 9 weeks. It was wonderful. Swimming pool, did Shakespeare in the first class lounge. Yes, what else can I go to? I left something interesting out. One story I remember, my next number in the RAF was a chap called Clive Penn, and he failed his divinity tripos in Cambridge. And he kept a quiet time book, and God told him what to do for the rest of the day. Really. I never saw it, but I think it may have been just in his head. But anyway, he kept the gas mask case empty, and he used to pick up any nails or screws or anything like that, put them in the gas mask case. We didn't have any shoes, and so when the clock broke, and you wanted a nail to nail on, you went to Clive. And anyway, I was looking after some chaps who'd been brought in from the other islands. Yes, I can't think of the name of the capital. I can't even think of the island at the moment. Anyway, I was looking after their washing at the time, and someone came up to me and said, "Have you seen your friend Clive lately?" I said, "No, what's he up to?" Well, we think he's going gila. Gila means mad. So I sought him out, and he'd emptied his gas mask case and was making out an inventory of all the things he had in the gas mask case. I said, "Clive, the war's over. Why are you doing that?" I knew what the answer would be. Well, God told me to do. So I said, "Will you come and help me do the washing with these chaps?" So he said, "I'll come in tomorrow morning." He didn't turn up, so I fished him out again, and there were big Dutch belts we were in, with gardens in between, and when we went into he said, "Don't you think we should have a word of prayer about this?" I said, "Come and do the bloody wash." Anyway, as soon as he got into the barracks where these new chaps had arrived, filthy dirty, Clive, it was the Messiah had arrived. So I left him there, went on to do washing. One of my favourite stories.